Welcome to the Real Construction Owners Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Ledford, and today we're joined by a cool guest named Justin Siegfried, the owner of Triforce Contracting. His company is going to do over $7 million this year, and he's a prime example of what it means to be a construction owner. Stick around to the end, and we're going to reveal some top-tier strategies that contributed to his multi-million-dollar success. We have a big shout-out to our sponsor at Federal Construction University. That is your trusted guide to winning government construction contracts. They'll provide to you a step-by-step blueprint to transform your construction business into a revenue-generating powerhouse. They'll also give you an effective recruiting strategy to onboard commission-based salespeople and estimators every week. If that interests you, check out the link in the comments below. Now let's dive into our conversation with Justin Siegfried. Welcome to the Real Construction Owners Podcast, where we interview real construction owners doing big things. Today, we have a special guest, Justin Siegfried out of Tampa, Florida, the owner of Triforce Contracting and Roofing. This man is putting up numbers, $7 million in business this year, God willing. And we're going to talk about the sales process, lead generation. We're going to talk about his org chart. We're going to talk about how he did what he did in his fourth or fifth year business. So if you're a contractor who wants to go from being stressed out to becoming a thriving owner, you're going to want to pay close attention. Here we go. What's up, Justin? How you doing, brother?
How's it going, my man?
Man, I'm truly blessed and highly favored. Thanks for asking.
Yes, sir. I'm with you on that.
Amen. Hey, listen, let's dive in. Tell us your story. Give us a background, how it all got started, before it, where you're at now, and why somebody should want to listen to you.
Okay. So I'll tell you the nuts and bolts story of how Triforce Contracting and Roofing came together. I was thrown back into entrepreneurship right around the time COVID hit. And I started a small handyman business, was doing some repair work, was getting back into construction, and came across a Facebook post where a gentleman posted where he had just got his general contractor's license. He's from out of state, new to Florida, and was looking to connect with subcontractors and people with, big networks. So I reached out to him, and we met in a Publix parking lot. He was literally doing the general contracting, all of the labor himself, and him and a helper. And when I met him, he got out the truck and he had knee pads on. And I told him before we even talked or said a word, I said, "Hey, I just want to tell you that if you and I put a business together, that I promise you will never, ever wear those stupid knee pads again. And you'll never touch a piece of tile again unless you actually want to." And long story short, we put our companies together, and we started out focusing on the contracting, and we grew a successful business. We did about $930,000 our first year in revenue, and the second year we added the roofing contracting license to the business, and we did the same thing with the roofing. We did about $1 million our first year, $980,000, and slowly but surely we started, gaining traction here in the Tampa market. And my background is sales. I was a copier, office equipment salesman for 3 or 4 years. Prior to that, I sold commercial collections and some other stuff. But with my background and his background, I felt like it was the perfect fit. His strengths and weaknesses complement my strengths and weaknesses. He's an introvert. I'm an extrovert. He's task oriented. I'm people oriented. So we put the companies together and hit the ground running. And this past year, I'd like to grant the bulk of our success to not just the hurricane that hit in South Florida, but more importantly, the work that we put forth at the hurricane. Because my team and I, we actually we received a call or a message on our Facebook page the night of Hurricane Ian. And it was a family member that had an elderly aunt that was basically in her home with 4 feet of water, and they had lost contact with her. So we drove down there in the middle of Hurricane Ian, me and 4 of my guys, and we helped her and got her situated, got a generator hooked up, and so she could salvage her food and whatnot. And long story short, we slept in the Walmart parking lot on Tamiami Trail in Port Charlotte, Florida. And we woke up the next morning, and I had loaded about $4,000 worth of tarps, about $2,000 worth of yard signs and flyers, and I brought chainsaws. And we immediately started helping some of the homeowners, tarping roofs, cutting trees off of roofs, and doing whatever we could to, just establish, some help to some of these people, because it was literally the day the sun had just came up. And, long story short, we've done over 150 roofs in under a year, just in our South Florida branch that we opened up due to Hurricane Ian. So, that's basically it, being willing, and ready to go and help, and not think about, the consequences, or being concerned about what could happen to your business here locally when you leave town to go, do disaster relief work. But long story short, it worked out well. We've grown as a company, and we've opened up 2 offices since Hurricane Ian. So now we have 3 office locations: one in Hernando County, one in Sarasota, and then our main branch here in Tampa.
Man, I tell you what, it takes some serious courage and some big cojones to go chase a hurricane. I did that once, and man, that is just some uncomfortable work. Like, that is the gritty of the gritty. That is like, no AC, very limited supplies, freaking hot and muggy, mosquitoes, and people are like in a state of chaos. Like, people are in a state of like fear and devastation, and it's amazing that you're out there trying to help these people and do good for them. Now, how does that work though? With like, do you charge them for this tarping, or do you charge the insurance for a contractor who has never done water mitigation or done a hurricane? Walk us through that process and how you get paid for something like that.
So there's multiple business models out here in the roofing industry. A lot of roofing guys, they put their focus on just insurance, to where that is their main focus. They only sell insurance, which we do a lot of insurance roofs as well. But our main focus was retail prior to the hurricane. But because of Hurricane Ian, we had to quickly bring ourselves to speed in regards to dealing with insurance, and assisting those homeowners in filing claims and meeting with the adjusters. And that's the main thing. When a homeowner files a claim, and in regards to a damage from a storm or wind or flood, the first thing they have to do is they have to contact their insurance carrier and file a claim. And once they file a claim, they'll be assigned a desk adjuster. And what I learned is if you get involved with the homeowner on that process, and you get the desk adjuster's information, and you call them and make sure they know that the homeowner has a contractor that they're already working with, that's ready and able to meet with the field adjuster, I think that's the real important part of securing that business, is showing up and meeting with those adjusters. So for us, it's a lot of fuel, a lot of time involved, but it's a sacrifice you make. Make it a point to meet with those adjusters, be there when that field adjuster comes to that home, and let the homeowner know. It gives the homeowner a sense of assurance, and a feeling of confidence in you when you go out of your way to meet with their adjusters. And we have a team of public adjusters and attorneys that we work with, that also assist the homeowners in supplementing if the insurance doesn't cover the damage adequately. So we learned a lot of that during this process. But a few years ago, we helped with the freeze breaks in Houston, in Texas. So we had a little education on that, with dealing with the insurance carriers and whatnot. So I'd say the most important thing is meeting with those adjusters, having someone here at your office calling the insurance carriers and making contact with the homeowner's desk adjuster and field adjuster.
Curious though, you got 4 or 5, 6, 7, 10 grand worth of tarping, and then you got to pay somebody to get the tarping on these projects. Are you charging a fee up front to these homeowners? Or are you just eating that cost and hoping that the insurance will pay it later?
So we did a combination. We did ask the homeowner to put a little skin in the game because they will be paying a deductible. So any deposit they give you will come off of their deductible once the insurance company approves the claim. So it's kind of a
makes sense.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah,
So yes,
basically
they have to pay a deposit, but it's going to come off of what they were going to pay anyway. So it's really not coming out of their pocket necessarily.
Yeah, I see. And then you can just say, hey, I get what you're doing. That's smart. Now, your background is in sales. You went from selling copy machines to selling meat, selling copy machines. One of the two. That's a hard grind. That's a real hard grind to getting into the roofing game and the restoration game. Talk to me about some of the lessons that you learned in the copy or the meat game that roofing contractors and contractors in general can implement into their business and becoming a better sales organization.
It's 2 words, and it's the 2 words that people hate the most. Cold calls. Yep. You got to get out there and knock doors. Most contractors aren't going to get out there and knock doors themselves. I'm a little bit different. My background, like you said, is sales. I love knocking doors. I love talking to people. So what we do, my team, we get out there and knock doors. When we're doing a roof in a neighborhood, we research the neighborhood, try to figure out, the age of the roofs, what the neighborhood looks like, and then we canvass that neighborhood. Strategic door knocking for homeowners associations that are and insurance companies that are pressuring homeowners on changing their roofs out due to age, stuff like that. All that information is public. So canvassing, knocking doors is probably my go-to, maybe what sets me apart from a lot of these guys. And teaching them how to sell and teaching them how to knock doors. Because at the end of the day, anybody can knock a door and talk to somebody, but what do you say when you're in front of those people that, attracts them or gets them to spark some sort of interest in whatever it is that you have? Because there's tons of roofing companies. Like, let's be honest, I think we did a count on the DVPR site, and it was like 11,000 contractors in the state of Florida. But what
sounds
what
like Dallas.
Yeah. Oh, is that where you're at?
No, I'm in Austin, which is a couple hours south. It's freaking crazy out here. I'm also in the storm restoration, and I also do government contracts and teach contractors how to win government contracts. So okay. I totally know what you're saying. You got to get out of your truck. You got to go knock the doors. Sales, all it is just 20 relationships every day. If we can teach our salespeople just to build the relationships every day and use the scripts that we teach and, hold the customer's hand and make them feel special, they're going to give us their business, right?
That's it.
Especially when the insurance is paying for it. So
absolutely.
Talk to me about your process, your organization, because a lot of these listeners they want to be a real construction owner. They want to get out of the day-to-day operations. They want to work on the business instead of working in the business. How is your business run? Who's in charge of what, etc.?
So Job Nimbus is the CRM we use. Job Nimbus helps us as an organization keep everything where it's supposed to be. You can do everything in Job Nimbus. I highly recommend a CRM if you don't have one. Job Nimbus is really, really built for roofing, but it also is compatible with contracting. Here at Triforce, we have I've got field supervisors. Doug Perry is one of our senior field supervisors, and I have a gentleman, John Guider. Those guys, they kind of, roam the field in regards to checking up on the subs, checking up on our labor, checking up on our staff, supervising the jobs, making sure, the customer's happy, picking up behind the guys, making sure the paperwork is, posted on each home, for inspection purposes, stuff like that. And those guys also meet with the inspectors. We have a sales force as well. I have 3 sales managers that manage their own individual areas. Sarasota, we have a gentleman by the name of Daniel, 26-year-old, absolutely amazing sales guy. Here in Tampa, Angel manages our Tampa market, and then Joey oversees our Pinellas market. So right now, they have their own, canvassers and door knockers, and they're, out establishing business in their own individual departments. And then on the other side, I have my partner, Dan Panarella, and Emmanuel, and then Victoria, Sarah, and Chloe all support the contracting business in regards to permitting, inspections, material, the back support in the office, estimating, all of the above.
Okay.
That's basically the rundown. My daughter also works for the company. She does roof measurements. She uses the roofer software to do a lot of our roof measuring for us remotely because she's in college. So everybody's working, everybody's chipping in here.
That's the beautiful thing about the American dream. When we're on the ship, we're taking the island, and you want to make sure that everybody on the ship is rowing in the same direction. Because what happens if one person leaves their rotor out while everybody else is, rowing, it starts to get off course. So it's so important that as an owner, we align everybody and get them all rowing in the right direction. And how do you align everybody? Meetings, quarterlies, culture. Talk on that.
So we do a Monday morning meeting and a Friday morning meeting every week. After our big team meeting, I meet privately with the managers, and we go over. Monday we set our weekly goals. What are we doing this week? What are our boxes that we need to check? What are our financial goals for the week, etc. And then after that meeting, I meet with the salespeople, and we go over follow-ups. If they need any help closing, stuff like that. Questions, concerns from customers that need to be answered that maybe only I have the answers to, or someone has the answers to, not us, or ordering a material, stuff like that. Make sure that our tile jobs, our metal jobs are, being followed up with from our suppliers, because they take, weeks to get sometimes. But basically, those 2 weekly meetings are, I think, what helps us stay on course, because it's Monday setting your goals, and then Friday recapping how did you do on the goals that you set out for yourself for that week. And then what we're implementing now is a quarterly company get together, to where it's not about business, where it's more about social, it's more about connecting, more about brainstorming and talking ideas, and bringing new opportunities to the table. Because at the end of the day, we're not just a contract and roofing business. I buy and sell real estate. I have rental properties. I'm buying vacant land to build new construction homes on. I'm in permitting on new construction homes. Like we're also becoming a developer. So there's a whole nother avenue of revenue stream that we're creating for ourselves in regards to building Airbnbs and rental properties and vacation homes and stuff like that. So the sky's the limit here at Triforce, and we're a young group. We're just stepping into year 5, but I've been blessed with an amazing team of young, intelligent, hungry, aspiring, human beings that make Team Triforce what it is today.
I love that. It's a great book I want to recommend. It's called Traction. It's the EOS method. And another book I want to recommend is Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. I have retreats in Costa Rica, very limited, take less than 15 CEOs. We have a blast, surfing, whitewater rafting, four-wheeling through the jungle. But we also, because I have a nice home out there, like a beautiful home with some gazebos. So I just bring everybody into my estate and I teach them how I went from being a stressed out operator to being an owner that doesn't really have to do the work anymore. And I credit that to the EOS method and Buy Back Your Time. Those two books worth 10,000 times, no, worth 100,000 times what you pay for them if you actually implement it. Curious, what's a good book that you read cover to cover that you could share and the lesson you learned from it?
Oh man. Start with Why.
Simon Sinek.
Simon Sinek. One of my favorite, probably one of my favorites that changed my life. And it's because I won't get into the details. We don't have as much time, but I have a crazy background and story. I was homeless in 2015 at a homeless shelter. And 8 years later, I'm at the helm of a successful contracting and roofing company. And I'm a part of two ministries. I coach travel basketball where 11 out of the 15 boys I coach never met their father. And I'm just in a really blessed, unique spot today. And I wrote a book about my life.
I can hear your gratitude like coming from your heart. It's amazing. The pain that you went through is similar to my pain. And that's why we became successful. We didn't want that for our future progeny. Tell me about your book.
So I wrote a book about my life. It's called Chainbreaker, and it's in editing. I stopped it for a little bit. I got inside my own head and started worrying about what people are going to say and think when I release this book. And
done is better than perfect, my brother. Go to Amazon and buy this book. I wrote a best-selling book called Book Launch Formula: How to Become a Best-Selling Author in 90 Days. And it'll basically give you your missing pieces of how to push it through and get it done.
Well, it's done. That's the thing. It's done. It was in editing and page design when I stopped it. It's done. It's written. The cover's done. Everything's done. It's just like, so I got into speaking. I'm a speaker. I speak with a fellowship of Christian athletes. I go to high schools and middle schools, share my story, try to inspire the youth. And I do some sales seminars and training, teaching business owners and different people how to grow their business through networking and stuff like that. And I felt like the book was like a business card. I didn't write the book to sell it, to make money off of it. I wrote the book to hopefully inspire somebody to want to change their life. And that was the reason why I wrote it. And then I got in my own head about it after I wrote it and never released it. But
it's a great business card. I'm telling you, that's a brilliant idea. So many people nowadays are learning that you can use a book as a business card because it immediately establishes you as the authority. I wrote a book about 15 years ago called Visions to the Top: A Millionaire Secret Formula to Success. And basically I use that as a business card for every new potential recruit that comes into my business as a free gift to them. When they see that, they're like, wow, I want this life. Here's a roadmap. So it's cool that you're on that vibe to give that information out. I'm curious, what would you say is the best process you have in your business, and explain how it works?
Man, I don't know who's all listening here. There's people in my market listening to this. No, I'm just kidding. So there's a couple systems that we've put in place that are probably sustaining the business right now. And it's a combination of things, but one of them is yard signs. Yard signs, if strategically put in the right places, they can make your phone ring the old fashioned way, to where a homeowner sees the sign and reaches out to you instead of you knocking on their door and you initiating the whole process. So yard signs has done a huge benefit to our business, as well as Facebook groups. Get involved in your local groups in the communities that you live and where you work, and just tell your story. Be honest, tell your story, share your dirt, share your truths. When I walk up to a door, people see me and they originally start having some sort of opinion about me because of my tattoos. So one of the things I've learned is I tell them right out the gate where these tattoos came from and what story they tell, and how they play a part in who I am and what I'm doing here today. You know what I mean? So, but Facebook groups, get involved in your community in Facebook, online, and in your local chamber, and in your seat specific networking groups. Visit those BNIs, those keep it locals, those RGAs. Get involved in your community and network and rub elbows with those people who are making an impact in your community, and be yourself. I teach the product is you 100 days a week. It doesn't matter. If people are buying from you, they're buying from you. They're not buying GAF. They're not buying Atlas. They're buying you. So be yourself, be honest, and don't be scared to open up and share stories about yourself when you're in those conversations with potential homeowners and customers. They're wondering why you have that piercing, or why you wear those earrings, or whatever the case may be. Don't be afraid to open up and tell your story.
I love that. That's really good. That's the key, is like, be relatable and be authentic, because if you have that and you are not shy and you remember that I teach my people, imagine the client has a necklace on them that says, "Make me feel special." If you can remember that they're a human being, and if you want to try to make them feel special, and you actually care, and you're charismatic and you're authentic, they're going to do business with you. So that leads us to this. What's the best tip you can give an owner who's leading a team that wants to leave a legacy?
Wants to leave a legacy? Invest in your people. Invest in your people. Your people are everything. Your team, your staff, the people that are representing your company every day when you're not around. Pour into those people, invest into those people, not just monetarily, but spiritually, emotionally. Educate them. And something one of my old bosses said a long time ago that's always stuck with me. And it's we were trying to recruit sales guys, and he was like, you don't have to recruit a superstar. You don't have to recruit a rock star. You can recruit a B or C guy and pour into him and teach him everything you know. And before you know it, he will be a rock star. So pour into your people, invest into your people, spend time with your people, not just at the office, not just at work, but get to know them as humans, and learn to love them, and they'll learn to love you, and they'll treat your company like it's theirs. And that's the difference between, you going to the next level or not.
Now, Justin, I know that you have a passion to inspire and help and give back. You've started a coaching, such as a course. If somebody wants to reach out to you, tell them what you're working on, and also tell us how they can reach out to you.
I'm working on a coaching platform for contractors and business owners in the construction industry that have trouble generating leads and, keeping their sales funnel full. I've learned a few things, not just in this industry, but in several of the industries that I've been in, I like to teach those things. I didn't learn them at a cost that is so expensive that I can't share it. That's just not who I am. Everything that I learned that helps me, I try to, pass on. So I'm looking for those people that are like my business partner, that may be introverts, that may not have that, sales background or networking background, and they need some pointers. They need some tips and some tricks to help educate themselves and bring themselves to where they need to be to grow their business. And you can find me on all social media platforms with Triforce Contracting, Triforce Roofing, Triforce Ministries. But my email is justins@triforcecontracting.com. So email me anytime. I respond to everybody. I don't care how successful I am, how big the company gets. I'll always answer my phone and always look to help the next man. So that's just who I am.
True servant leader, Justin Siegfried, the owner of Triforce Contracting and Roofing. Today's been a blast, man. Thanks for being on the Real Construction Owners podcast.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me. God bless.
Thank you for tuning into our show. If you found this valuable, please consider subscribing for more insightful content, and drop me a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. To learn more about Federal Construction University so you can elevate your construction business to the next level, follow the link provided below. If you want a blueprint to transform your business to an 8-figure enterprise, don't hesitate. Go visit federalconstructionuniversity.com right now.